That will be ere the set of sun.
Where's the place?
There to meet with Macbeth.
I come, Graymalkin, had a call.
A nod.
Fair is foul and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that? He can report us in advice plight to revolt the newest estate.
This is the sergeant who, like a good and hardy soldier, fought against my captivity.
Hail, great friend! Say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their arch. The merciless McDonald of kerns and gallow glasses is supplied, and fortune on his damned quarrel smiling shall like a rebel's horde. But all's too weak. For brave Macbeth, well he deserved that name, disdaining fortune with his brand of steel, which smoked with bloody execution like valor's minion carved out the passage till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chops, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Valiant cousin, worthy gentleman.
Mark, King of Scotland, mark. No sooner justice had with valored arms compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Norwegian lord surveying vantage, with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this our captains Macbeth and Banquo?
No, as sparrow's eagles or hair the lion, but I am faint, my gaseous cry for help.
So well thy words become these thy wounds. They smack of honor both. Go get him surgeons. Who comes here? The worthy Thane of Ross.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife great king, where Norwegian banners flout to the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict. Point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit. And to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness. No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and with this former title, greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Where hast thou been, sister? Killing swine.
Sister, where thou?
A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and she munched and munched and munched. Give me, quoth I, aroint thee, witch, that rump-fed Runyon cries. Her husband's to Aleppo gone, master of the tiger, but in a sieve I'll thither sail, and like a rat without a tail, I'll do, and I'll do. I'll give thee a wind, thou art kind.
And I another.
I myself have all the other, and the very ports they blow, all the quarters that they know in the shipman's card. I will drain him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid. He shall live, a man forbid. Weary 7 nights, 9 times 9, shall he dwindle, peak and pine. Though his bark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest-tossed. Look what I have. Show me, show me. Here I have a pilot's thumb, racked as homeward he did come.
A drum, Macbeth doth come. The weird sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus do go about, thrice to thine and thrice to mine. and thrice again to make up 9. Peace. The charms wound up.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
What are these that look not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet aren't? Live you or are you aught that man may question? You seem to understand me by each at once her choppy finger laying upon her skinny lips.
Speak, if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis. All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth, that shall be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear that which does sound so fair? In the name of truth, are ye fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly ye show? My noble partner you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope that he seems wrapped with awe. To me you speak not. If you look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail. Hail.
Hail.
Lesser than Macbeth and greater. Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none, so all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
Say, you imperfect speakers, tell me more. By my father's death I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you!
The earth hath bubbles as the water has, and these are of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air. And what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed.
Were such things here as we do speak about? Or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be king.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too, went it not so?
The self-same tune and words. Who's here?
The king hath happily received Macbeth, the news of thy success. When he reads of thy personal venture in the rebels' fight, these wonders and his praises do contend which should be thine or his. Everyone did bear thy praises in his great kingdom's defense, and bore them down before him.
We are sent to give thee from a loyal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sight, God pay thee.
And for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition, hail most worthy Thane, for 'tis thine.
What? Can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose. Whether he was combined with those of Norway, or did lie in the rebel with hidden help advantage, or that with both he labored in his country's wreck, I know not, but treason's capital confessed and proved have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind. But thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That trusted home might yet enkindle you unto the crown, besides the Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange, and oftentimes to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths, win us with honest trifles to betrays and deepest consequence. Cousins, a word I pray you.
Two truths are told as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given the earnest of success commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder is yet but fantastical, shakes so my single state of men that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not. If chance will have me king, why chance may crown me without my stir.
Look how our partner's wrapped. New honors come upon him like our strange garments, cleave not to their mold, but with the aid of use.
Come what, come may. Time and the hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Oh, give me your favor, my dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered, where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Let us for the king. To think upon what hath chanced, and at more time the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts each to other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends.
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they have not yet come back. But I have spoke with one who saw him die. They did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like believing it. He died as one who had been studied in his death. To throw away the dearest thing he owed as 'twere a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman, on whom I built an absolute trust.
The king is here.
O worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now is heavy on me. Only I'd but to say, more is thy due than more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your highness' part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state, children and servants, which do but what they should by doing everything safe toward your love and honor.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, that hast no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so. Let me fold thee to my heart.
There if I grow, the harvest is your own.
Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and to you whose places are the nearest, know we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland. Which honor must not, unaccompanied, invest him only, with signs of nobleness, like stars shall shine on all deservers, from hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger, and make joyful the hearing of my wife at your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down, or else o'erleap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, but let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
True, worthy Banquo, he is full so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him, whose care is gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the Perfect's reports they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned a desire to question them further, they made themselves air into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me, and referred me to the coming on of time with Hail, King that shall be. This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet I do fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou wholly, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou'st have a great Glamis, that which cries, thus thou must do if thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do than wishest should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say it. Is not thy master with him?
So please you, it is true. Our thane is coming.
I'll give him tending. He brings great news. The raven himself is horse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Oh, may thick my blood stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shape my fell purpose, or keep peace between the effect and it. Oh, come to my women's breasts, and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers. Revering your sightless substances, you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dullest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold.
Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all hail hereafter.
My letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present. I feel now the future in an instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence,
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my maid, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear wealth in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch. Shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and mastery.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter fate forever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself into our gentle senses.
This guest of summer, the temple haunting martlet, does approve by her loved mansionry that the heaven's breath smells wooingly here. No duddy, frieze, buttress, nor coign of vantage, but this bird hath made its pendant bed and procreant cradle. Where they most breed and haunt, I have observed, the air is delicate.
See our honored hostess. The love that calls us sometime is our trouble, which we still think as love.
All our service in every point, twice done and then done double, were poor and single business, to contend against those honors, deep and broad, wherewith your majesty loads our house.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels and had a purpose to be his purveyor. But he rides well, and his great love, sharp as his spur, hath helped him to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight.
Your servants ever have theirs themselves, and what is theirs in compt to make their audit at your highness's pleasure, still to return your own.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host, we love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease success. That but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instruction, which being taught return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poison chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject strong both against the deed, then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office that his virtues will plead like angels trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off. And pity, like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now, what news?
He is almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Have he asked for me?
No, you not, he has.
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk when you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since, and wakes it now, to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time, such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest, the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would like the poor cat in the attic?
Prithee, peace! I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more than man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender it is to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out. Had I so sworn as you have done to this.
We should fail.
Fail? But screw your courage to the sticking place and will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, or to the rather shall his days of hard journey soundly invite him, his two chamberlains will eye with wine and wassail, so convinced that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbeck alone. When in swinish sleep their drenched nature lie as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? Would not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great club.
Bring forth men, children only, for thy undaunted meadow should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber and use their very daggers that they have done?
Who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death.
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down. I haven't turned the clock.
And she goes down at 12.
My take is later, sir.
Oh, my sword. There's husbandry in heaven. The candles are all out. Take thee that too. A heavy summons lies like lead upon me, yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers, restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Who's here?
A friend.
What, sir, not yet at rest? The king's abed, he hath been an unusual pleasure, and sent forth great largesse to your offices.
Being unprepared, our will became the servant to defect, which y'all should free have wrought.
All's well. I dreamt last night of the three weird sisters. To you they have showed some truth.
Well, I think not of them. Yet, when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kind leisure.
If you shall cleave to my consent, when 'tis, it shall bring honor for you.
So I lose none in seeking it, but keep my bosom franchised and the regions clear. I shall be counting.
Good, repose the while.
Thanks, sir. Like to you.
Go bid thy mistress, when my drink is ready, she strike upon the bell. Get thee to bed. Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshals me the way that I was going, in such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade and dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There is no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now, o'er the one-half world, nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings and withered murder. Alarmed by his sentinel, the wolf whose howls his watch. Thus, with his stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing strides, moves towards his design like a ghost. Though sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabout. And take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Whiles I thread, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds, too, cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark! It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited brooms do mock their charge with storms. I have drugged their possums, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho?
I'm afraid they have awaked. 'Tis not done. The intent and not the deed confounds us. Hark, I had laid their daggers ready. You could not miss them. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it. My husband?
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the griffins cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
Aye.
Hearken. Who lies in the second chamber?
Donald.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
As one did laugh in sleep, and one cried murder. But they did wake each other. I stood and heard them. But they did say their prayers and addressed them again to sleep.
They're two lodged together.
As one cried, God bless us, and amen. The other, as they saw me with these hangman's hands, listening their fear, I could not say amen when they did say, God bless us. But wherefore could not I pronounce amen? I had most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways. So it will make us mad.
Thought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. The innocent sleep. Sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care. The death of each day's life, sore labor's bath, balm of hurt minds. Great nature's second course, chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still it cried, sleep no more to all the house. Glamis hath murdered, sleep therefore. Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? My worthy thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain sickly of things. Go, get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why did you bring the daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go, carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think what I have done. Look on again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose. Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? Thou wist with me when every noise appalls me. What hands are here? They pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No. My hand will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. You're knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy it is then your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark more knocking! Get on your nightgown, lest occasion call us, and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deeds were best not know myself. Wake Duncan with thy knocking. I would thou couldst.
Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hellgate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, 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 who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Here's a farmer who hanged himself. Ah! On the expectation of plenty. Oh, come in time, have napkins and I'll about you. Here, you'll sweat for it. Knock, knock, who's there? In the other devil's name. Faith, here's an equivocator who would swear in both the scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator. Knock, 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 who's there? Faith, here's an English tailor. Come hither for stealing out of a French hose. Oh, come in, tailor. Here, you may roast your goose. Knock, 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 never quiet. Who's there? But this place is too cold for hell. I'll double porter it no further. I had thought to let in some of all professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. I'm gone! pray you remember the porter.
Is it so late red ere you went to bed that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were crossing till the second cock. And drink, sir, is a great provoker of three things.
What three things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir, nose painting, sleep, and urine. Lechery, sir, it provokes. It unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but it takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It makes him and it mars him. It sets him on and it takes him off. It persuades and disheartens him. Makes him stand too. And not stand too. In conclusion, equivocates him in his sleep. And giving him the lie, leaves him.
I believe drink gave Viva eye last night.
That it did, sir, in the very throat of me. But I requited him for his lie, and I think, being too strong for him, took up my legs sometime and made a shift to cast him.
Thy master stirring? Our knocking has awakened. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy thing?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely upon him. I have almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know this is a joyful trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight in physics pain. There is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
There's the king hence today.
He does. He did appoint so.
Night has been unruly where we lay. Some say there's this fevers that shake.
'Twas a rough night.
My gut remembrance can't parallel a fellow to it.
Oh, horror! 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 Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke up the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
What is to say the life?
Mean to his majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new bargain. Do not bid me speak, see, and then speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarm bell! Murder and treason! Macbeth and Malcolm! Awake! Shake off this towny sleep, death's counterfeit, and look upon death itself. Malcolm! Banquo! Ring the bell!
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak. Speak.
Oh, gentle lady, it is not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. Oh, Banquo! Banquo, our royal master's murdered.
Woe, alas, what, in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Judith, I prithee contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant there's nothing serious in mortality, all is but toy. Renown and grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere lees is left this vault to brag of.
What is amiss?
You are and do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
By whom?
Those of this chamber seem to have done it. Their hands and faces were abadged with blood, and so were their daggers, which we found unwiped upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life is to be trusted.
Yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, tempered and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition of my violent love outrun the paws of reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood. His gashed stabs looked like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. There the murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain that had a heart to love? And in that heart, courage to make love known.
Help me, and so.
The
Look to the lady.
Why do we hold our tongues? The most may claim this argument for hours.
What should be spoken here? Where our fates hidden in our home a Russian sees us? Let's away. Our tears are not yet brewed.
Nor our strong sorrow upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady. And when we have our naked frailties hid that do suffer in exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
And so do I. So let us briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Well consented.
What will you do? Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office in which the false man does easy. Out to England.
To Ireland I. Our separated fortune shall keep us both the safer. Where we are now, there's daggers and red smiles. The nearer blood, the nearer bloody.
This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted. And our safest way is to avoid the aim, therefore to horse. And let us not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft which steals itself, and there's no mercy left.
well, within the volume of which time I have seen hours dreadful and things strange, this sore night hath trifled former knowings.
Ah, good father, thou seest the heavens as troubled with man's act threaten his bloody stage. 5 o'clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the traveling lamp. Is night's predominance, or the day's shame that darkness does the face of earth entomb, when living light should kiss it?
'Tis unnatural, even like the deed that's done. On Tuesday last, a falcon towering in her private place was by a rousing owl. Hawked them.
Here comes good Macbeth. How goes the world, sir, now?
Why? See you not?
Is it known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth hath slain.
Alas the day!
Malcolm and Donald Wayne, the king's 2 sons, are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed.
Against nature still, the rictless ambition that will travin up thine own life's means. 'Tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named, and gone to Scone to be invested.
Where is Duncan's body?
Carried to Colmkill, sacred storehouse of his predecessors and guardian of their bones.
Will you just go?
Oh, cousin, I'll home to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu, lest our old road sit easier than our new.
Thou hast it now. King, Cawdor gloms all as the weird women promised. And I fear thou paidst most foully for it. Yet it was said, it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches doth shine, why, by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well and set me up in hope? But hush, no more!
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast, and all thing unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and now request your presence.
But your highness command upon me to the which my duties are with an indissoluble tie forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon.
Aye, my good lord.
We should have else desired your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous in this good day's council. But we'll take tomorrow. This far you ride.
As far, my lord, as we'll fill the time twixt this and supper, go not my horse the better, I must become a borrower of the night for a dark hour or twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their ears with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, when therewithal we shall have cause of state craving us jointly. Tie you to horse, adieu to your return at night. Goes Fleance with you?
Aye, my good lord. Our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To make society the speeder welcome, we'll keep ourselves till supper time alone. Well then, God be with you. Sarah, a word. Attend those men our pleasure.
There they are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Go, bring them before us. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares into that dauntless temper of his mind. He hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. There's none but he whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked. As it is said, Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my grip, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them, the gracious Duncan, have I murdered. Put rancors in the vessel of my peace only for them. And mine eternal jewel given to the common enemy of man to make them kings. The seed of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come fate into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Now, go to the door and wait there till we call. Was it not yesterday we last spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then, now have you considered of my past speeches? Know that it was he in the times past which held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self. This I made good to you in our last conference. Passed in probation with you, how you were born in hand, how crossed the instruments, and all things else that might to half a soul and to a notion crazed, say thus did Banquo.
You made it known to us.
I did so. And went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospel to pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy hand hath bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever?
We are men, my liege.
Aye. In the catalogue ye go for men. Now if you have a station in the file, not to the worst rank of manhood, say it. And I shall put that business in your bosoms, whose execution takes your enemy off.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world have so incensed that I am reckless of what I do despite the world.
And I, another, so weary with disasters, tugged with fortune, that I would set my lie on any chance to mend it or be rid of it.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy?
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life. And though I could, with bare-faced power, sweep him from my sight and did my will avouch it, yet I must not. For certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop, but wail his fall, who I myself struck down. And thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Though our
Your
lives...
spirit shine through you. Within this hour at most I will advise you where to plant yourselves. Acquaint you with the perfect spy of the time, the moment on't, for it must be done tonight. And something from the palace always thought I require a clearness. And with him, to leave no rubs nor botches in the work. Fleance, his son that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon you straight. Abide within. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
Is Banquo gone from the court?
Aye, madam, but returns again tonight.
Say to the king I would attend his leisure for a few words.
Madam, I will.
Not had, all's spent, or our desires got without content. Sacred be that which we destroy, than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them they think on. Things without a remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scotched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whilst our poor Malice remains in danger of her former tooth. But let the frame of things disjoint, both the world suffer. Ere we will eat our meal in fear and sleep in the affliction of these dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we, to gain our peace, have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst. Nor steel, nor poison, malice, domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
Come on, gentle my lord, slink o'er your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I love, and so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence both with the eye and the tongue. Unsafe the while that we must lave our honors in these flattering streams and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they
You
are.
must leave this.
Full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou know'st that Banquo in his fleance lives.
But in them nature's copies not etern.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. Then be thou jocund. Ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, ere to black Hecate summons, the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums hath rung night's yawning peal. There shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, and scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens and the crow make wing to the rooky wood. Good things of day do begin to droop and drowse, while night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelst at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So prithee go with me.
But who did bid thee join with us, Macbeth?
He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our offices and what we have to do to the direction just.
So then stand with us. The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day. Now spurs the laden traveler, apace the gate the timely inn, and soon approaches the subject for watch. Hark, I hear horses.
Give us a light there, Hope.
Then 'tis he. The rest that are within the note of expectation already are in the court.
These horses are about a mile, but he does usually for instant escaping if they're walk.
A light! A light!
Entrance,
It will be rain tonight.
and when I come down,
Oh, treachery! Fly, Atlanta! Fly! Fly! Don't be strange! Slave! Ah!
You know your own degrees. Sit down at first and last already welcome.
Thanks, Your Majesty.
Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best times we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends, for my heart speaks they are welcome.
See, they encounter thee with their hearts. Thanks. Both sides are even here. I'll sit amidst. Be large in mirth and on. We'll drink measure the table round. There's blood on thy face.
To Banquo's men.
'Tis better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
Aye, my lord. Throat is cut, that I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like for Cleon. If thou didst it, thou art the nonpareil.
True, sir. Fleance escaped.
Then comes my fit again. I had else been perfect, whole as the marble, founded as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air. But now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound into saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo safe?
Aye, my good lord. Safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 trenched gashes on his head, the least a death to nature.
Thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature that in time venom breed, no teeth for the present. But get thee gone, we'll hear ourselves again tomorrow.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. A feast is sold that is not often vouched, while 'tis made, 'tis given with welcome. To feed were best at home, from thence sauce to meat is ceremony. Eating will bear without it.
Sweet remembrance, sir. Now good digestion, wait upon appetite and health on both.
May it please your highness sit.
Here had we now our country's honor root, where the graced person of our Banquo present, whom may I challenge for unkindness rather than pity for mischance.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please, Your Highness, to grace us with your royal company.
The table's full.
Here is a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What does that move your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, rise. His Highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you keep seat. The fit is momentary. Upon a thought he will again be well. You shall offend him and extend his passion. Feed and regard him not. Are you a man?
Aye, and the bold one that dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Of these flaws and starts, imposters to true fear, would well become a woman's story at a winter's tale authorized by her granddam. Shame itself. Why do you make such faces? When all's done, you look what I stood.
Prithee, see there, behold, look low. How say you? Why, what care I if thou canst not speak to? If charnel houses in our graves must send those we bury back, our monument shall be the moss of kites.
What? Quite unmanned in folly.
If I stand here, I saw him.
Fie for shame.
Blood hath been shed ere now is the olden time. Human statute purged the gentle wheel. Aye, and since 2 murders have been performed, too terrible for the ear. The times have been that when the brains were out, the men would die and there it end. But now they rise again with 20 mortal murders on their crowns and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friend. I have a strange infirmity which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all, then I'll sit down. Bring me some wine, fill full. I drink to the general joy of the whole table and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss when he were here. To all in him we thirst, and all to all. Avaunt! And quit my sight! Let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare
Think
with.
of this, good peers, this king's custom. 'Tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
What man dare, I dare. Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros, or the here-king tiger. Take any shape but that, and my burnt nerve shall never tremble or be alive again. And dare me into the desert with thy sword. In trembling I inhabit, then protest me the baby of a girl. Hence, horrible shadow, unreal mockery ends! Why so? Being gone, I am a man again. I pray you sit still.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
Can such things be and overcome us like a summer's cloud without our special wonder? You make me strange even to the disposition that I owe, and now I think you can behold such sights and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stay not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better help attend his majesty.
A kind good night to all.
We'll have blood. They say blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have by maggot pies and choughs and rooks brought forth the secret sman of blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds with the morning. Which is which?
How sayst thou that Macbeth denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them, but in his house I keep a servant feed. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters, more shall they speak. For now I am bent to know by the worst means the worst. For mine own good cause all others shall give way. I am in blood stepped in so far that should I wait no more returning, were as tedious as go o'er. Strange things I have in head that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Come, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young, indeed.
Venom sleeping got, boiled out first in the charmed pot. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn, toil and trouble, fire burn,
toil and trouble, fire burn, and cauldron bubble.
Fillet of a finny snake, in the cauldron, boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog, adder's fork and blind worm's sting, lizard's leg and owlet's wing, for a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth, boil and bubble. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn,
toil and trouble, fire burn, and
toil
cauldron
and
bubble.
trouble, fire burn, and cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, maw and gulf of the rabid saltfish shark, root of hemlocks, dig in the dark, liver of the blaspheming Jew, gall of goat and slips of yew, silvered in the moon's eclipse, nose of Turk and Tartar's lips, finger of the birth-strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab, make the gruel thick and slab, add thereto a tiger's chaldron for the ingredients of our cauldron. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Fire double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good. By the pricking of my thumb, some Something wicked this way comes. Open lungs, whoever knocks.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is you do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess. Howe'er you come to know and answer me. Though you untie the winds and let them fight against the churches, though the yesty waves confound and swallow navigation up, though bladed corn be lodged and trees blown down, though castles topple on their warders' heads, though palaces and pyramids do slope their heads to their foundations, though the treasure of nature's germans do tumble altogether, even till destruction sick and answer me to what I ask you.
Speak. Demand.
Will answer.
Say if thou'st rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call 'em. Let me see 'em.
Pour in sow's blood that hath eaten her 9 pharaoh. Grease that's sweatin' from the murderer's gibbet, throw into the flame.
Come, high or low, thyself in office, deftly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought. Hear his speech, but say thou not.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Beware, Macbeth. Beware the thane of fight. Dismiss me. Enough.
Whate'er thou art for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright, but one word more.
He will not be commanded. Here's another more potent than the first.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth.
And I 3 ears I hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn. For the power of men and none of one born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff, what need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies in sleep in spite of thunder. What's this that rises like the issue of a king and wears upon his baby brow the round and top of sovereignty?
Listen, but speak not to it.
Be lion-mettled proud and take no care, who chafes to fret or where conspires are. Macbeth shall never vanquish me till great Burnham wood to high Dunsinane Hill shall come against him.
That can never be. Who can impress the forest? Bid the tree unfix his earthbound root. Sweet bodements, good. Rebellious dead rise never till the wood of Burnham rise, and our high-placed Macbeth shall pay his time to mortal custom. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if thou art can tell so much. Shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know! What is this noise?
Show, show,
Show,
show
his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down. Thy crown doth sear mine eyeballs. In thy hair, thou other brown-bound brow is like the first. The third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? A fourth. Star eyes, what will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet. A seventh, I'll see no more. Yet an eighth appears who bears a glass which shows me many more. Horrible sight. Now I know 'tis true, for the blood-vultured Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. What? Is this so?
Aye, sir. All this is so. But why stands Macbeth thus amazedly? Come, sisters, cheer we up his sprites, and show the best of our delights. I'll charm the air to make a sound, while we perform our antic round, that this great king may kindly say, our duties did his welcome pay.
Where are they? Gone? Let this pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. Come in without there.
What is your grace's will?
Saw you the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I did hear the galloping of horse, who once came by.
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord. They come to bring you word. Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my lord.
Time thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighty purpose never is o'ertook unless the deed go with it. From this moment on, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And even now, to crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon Fife, give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. But no boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do before this purpose cool. But no more sights. Where are these gentlemen? Come, bring me where they are.
What had he done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom. To leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion, and his titles in a place from whence himself does fly? He loves us not. He wants the natural touch, for the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, will fight her young ones in her nest against the owl. All is the fear, and nothing is the love. As little is the wisdom where the flight so runs against all reason.
My dear Scuzz, I pray you, school yourself. It's for your husband. He is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further. But cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves. When we hold rumor from what we fear, and yet know not what we fear, but float upon a wild and violent sea, each way and move. I'll take my leave of you. Shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at worst will cease, or else climb upwards to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
Father he is, and yet he is fatherless.
I'm very much a fool should I stay any longer. It would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I take my leave at once.
Sirrah? Your father is dead. What will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, mother.
What, worms and flies?
What I get, I mean.
Poor bird, thou'st never fear the net, nor lime, the pitfall, nor the gin.
Why should I, mother? Poor birds are not set for. My father is not dead for all your saying.
Yes, he is dead.
Was my father a traitor, mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Every one that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
And must they all be hanged if swearing lie?
Every one.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Then the liars and swearers are fools, for there are liars and swearers enough to beat the honest men and hang up them.
Now, God help thee, poor monkey, but how wilt thou do for a father?
If he were dead, you'd weep for him. If not, it is a good sign I should quickly have a new father.
Poor prattler, how thou talk.
Bless you, fair dame. I'm not too young. Now in your state of honor, I am perfect. I doubt some danger is approaching nearly. If you would take a simple man's advice, be not found here, hence with your little ones. To fright you, that's methinks I am too savage. To do worse, you were felt cruelty, which is not your person. Heaven preserve you. I dare abide no longer.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm. But I remember now I am in this earthly world where to do harm is often laudable, to do good sometimes accounted dangerous folly. Why then, alas, do I put up this womanly
faces!
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayst find him!
He's a traitor!
Now, boys, now good!
But you egg!
No, go! No!
Brian!
No! No! No!
He's killed me now.
No! Murder! Murder! Murder!
Each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face, that it resounds as if it felt with Scotland and yelled out like syllable of Galway.
What I believe I'll wail, what no believe in what I can redress, as I shall find the time to friend I will. What ye have spoke may be so perchance. This tyrant whose sole name blisters our tongues was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me and wisdom, to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry god.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil into an imperial charge. I shall crave your pardon. That which you are, my thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell. Though all things foul should wear the brows of grace, yet grace must still look so.
I've lost my hopes.
Perchance even there where I did find my doubts. Why in that rawness left you wife and child? Those precious motives, those strong nuts of love without leave-taking.
Bleed, bleed, poor country. Great tyranny, lay thou thy bases sure, for goodness dare not check thee. Wear thou thy wrongs, the title is afeard. Fare thee well, Lord. I would not be the villain thou thinkest for the entire space that's in the tyrant's grasp, and the rich east to boot.
Be not offended. I speak not as an absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think with all there be hands uplifted in my right, and here from gracious England have I offer of goodly thousands. But for all this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head or wear it on my sword, my poor country shall have more vices than it had before through him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself, I mean. Name all the particulars of vice so grafted that, when they shall be opened, black Macbeth will seem as pure as snow, and the poor estate esteem him as a lamb, being compared with my confineless harms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned than evils that taught Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name. But there's no bottom, none, in my voluptuousness. Your wives, your daughters, your matrons, and your maids could not fill up the cistern of my lust. Better Macbeth than such a one to reign.
Boundless intemperance in nature is a tyranny, and hath been the untimely emptying of the happy throne and fall of many kings. But fear not yet to take upon you what is yours. You may convey your pleasures in a spacious plenty, and yet seem cold. For the time you may so hoodwink. We have willing dames enough. May not be that vulture in you to devour so many as will to greatness dedicate themselves, finding it so inclined.
With this there grows in my most ill-composed affection, such a staunchless avarice, that were I king, I should cut off the nobles for their lands, desire his jewels in this other's house. And my more having would be as a sauce to make me hunger more, if I should forge quarrels unjust against the good and loyal, destroying them for wealth.
This avarice sticks deeper, grows with more pernicious root than summer seeming lust, and it hath been the sword of our slain kings. But fear not. Scotland hath poisons to fill your will of your mere own. All these are portable with other graces weighed.
But I have none. The king becoming graces as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, lowliness, patience, devotion, courage, fortitude. I have no relish of them, but abound in the division of each self or crime, acting its many ways. Nay, had I power, I should pour this milk of concord into hell, abhor the universal peace, confound all unity on earth.
Scotland, Scotland,
such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? Oh, not to live. Nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant bloody scepter. When shalt thou see thy wholesome days again, since that the truest issue of thy throne, by his own interdiction, stands accursed and does blaspheme his breed? Thy royal father was a most sainted king. The queen that bore thee, oftener upon her knees than on her feet died every day she lived. Fare thee well. The evils thou repeatest upon thyself have banished me from Scotland. O my breast, thy hope ends here.
Macduff! This noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good, truth, and honor. Devilish Macbeth by many of these trains hath sought to win me into his power, and modest wisdom plucks me from over-credulous haste. But God above, deal between thee and me, for even now I put myself to thy direction, and then speak mine own detraction. Here abjure the taints and blames I laid upon myself, as strangers to my nature. I am yet unknown to woman, never was forsworn, scarcely have coveted what was mine own, at no time broke my faith, would not betray the devil to his fellow in delight, no less in truth than life. My first false speaking was this upon myself. What I am truly is thine and my poor country's to command. Whither indeed thy here approach good seaward, and 10,000 men are yet a point was setting forth. Now we'll together, and the chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. 'Tis hard to reconcile.
Well, more anon.
See who comes here. My ever-gentle cousin, welcome hither.
Good God, the times remove the means that makes us strangers.
Sir, amen.
Stay in Scotland where it did.
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave, where nothing, but who knows nothing, is once seen to smile, where sighs and groans and shrieks that rend the air are made, not marked, where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy. Dead man's now there is scarce asked for who, and good men's lives expire before the flowers in their caps, dying or ere they sicken.
O relation, too nice and yet too true.
What's the newest grief?
That's of an hour's age, doth kiss the speaker. Each minute teems a new one.
That was my wife.
Why well?
And all my children.
Well too.
Be none the wiser of your speech. How goes it?
When I came hither to transport the tidings, which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumor of many worthy fellows that were out, which was to my belief witness to the rather, for that I saw the tyrant's power afoot. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight to doff their dire distresses.
Be it their comfort we are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us good seaward, and 10,000 men.
Would I could answer this comfort with the like. But I have words that would be held out in the desert air, where hearing should not latch them.
What concern then? The general cause, or is it a fee grief due to some single breast?
No mind that's honest, but in it shares some woe. But though the main part pertains to you alone.
Mine, keep it not from me. Quickly let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard.
I guess at it.
Your castle is surprised, wife and babes savagely slaughtered. To relate the manner were on the quarry of these murdered deer, to add to the death of you.
Merciful heaven! What, man? Ne'er pull your hat upon your brows. Give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers the o'erfraught heart and bids it break.
My children do.
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
I must be from thence. My wife killed too.
I have said.
Be comforted. Let's make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children. All my pretty ones. Did you say all? Oh, Hellkite, what all my pretty chickens and their dam at one fell swoop?
Dispute it like a
I
man.
shall do so. But I must also feel it as a man. Cannot remember such things were that were most precious to me. Did heaven look down and would not take their part?
Sinful Macduff, they were all struck for thee. Not that I am. Not for their own demerits, but for mine fell slaughter on their souls. And rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Blunt not the heart, enrage it.
Oh, I could play the woman with my eyes, and braggart with my tongue. But gentle heavens, cut short all intermission. Friend to friend bring down the speed of Scotland and myself. Within my sword's light place him. If he escape, heaven forgive him too.
This tune goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking. And the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
No truth in your report. What else did she last walk?
Since His Majesty went to the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. Yet all this while in a most fast sleep.
A great perturbation in nature. To receive at once the benefits of sleep and do the effects of watching. And this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and other actual performances, what at any time have we heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You may to me, but this most meet you should.
Not to you, nor to anyone having no witness to confirm my speech. Lo, here she comes. This is her very guise, and by my life, fast asleep. Observe her, stand close.
How came she by that
Why,
light?
it stood by her. She has light by her continually. 'Tis her command.
You see her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense is shut.
What is it she does now? Look how she rubs her hands.
It is an accustomed action to appear thus, washing her hands. I have known her to continue in this a quarter of an hour.
Yet here's a spot.
Hark, she speaks. I will set down what comes from this to satisfy my remembrance of her strong.
Out, damn spot. Out, I say! 1, 2. Oh, then 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie! A soldier and a fear! What need we fear? Who knows it? None shall call our power to account. Yet who would thought the old man to have had so much blood in him? Did Thane of Fife had a wife? Where is she now? What will these hands ne'er be clean? No more of that, my lord, no more of that. You are all with this starting.
Go to, you have known what you should not.
She has spoke what she should not. I am sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
Oh, here's the smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh!
What a sigh is there. The heart is sorely
I
charged.
would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well.
Pray God it be, sir.
This disease is beyond my practice. Yet I have known those who have walked in their sleep and have died hollowly in their beds.
Wash your hands. Get on your nightgown, look not so pale. I tell you again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out on his grave.
Even so.
To bed. To bed, I hear a knocking at the gate. Come! Come, give me your hand! What's done cannot be undone. Oh, to bed. To bed! To bed!
Will she go now to bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural colors. Infected minds to their death pillows will discharge their secrets. Or need she the divine than the physician? God forgive us all. Remove from her the means of all annoyance and still keep eyes upon her. So good night. My heart she has made it, and amazed my sight. I think, but dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
The English power is near, led on by Malcolm, his uncle Seward, and the good Macduff. Revenge is burdened them.
Your burden, what shall we meet them?
What does the tyrant?
Great Dunstan strongly fortifies. Some say he's mad. Others that lesser hate him do call it a valiant fury.
Now does he feel his secret murders taking on his hands? Those he commands move only in command, nothing in love. Now does he feel his title hang loose about him, like a giant's robe and a dwarfish thief?
Who then shall blame his pestered senses to recoil and start, when all that is within him does condemn itself for being there?
Well, march we on, to give obedience which is truly owed.
Make for our march toward Burnham.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. Burnham would remove to Dunsinane I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequence have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. Then fly, false things, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt nor shake with fear. Devil damn thee, black thou green-faced loon, where gott'st thou that goose look?
There is
Geese
10,000
villain!
soldiers, sir.
Go prick thy fear and overread thy fear, thou lily-livered boy. What soldiers, Patch? Death of thy soul, those linen sheets are counselors to fear. What soldiers, Whiteface?
The English force, so please you.
Take thy face hence. C10! I am sick at heart. I have lived long enough. My life is fallen into the sear. The yellow leaf, and that which should accompany old age, as honor, love, obedience, troops of friends I must not look to have, but in their stead curses, not loud but deep, mouth honor, breath, which the poor heart would fain deny and dare not. C10!
What is your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me my sword.
It is not needed yet.
I pull it on. Give me my sword. How does your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick-coming fancies. Now keep her from her rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind disease? Pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow? Raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet oblivious antidote, cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart?
And the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs, I'll none of it. Come, give me my sword. Seek and send out. Doctor, the thanes fly for me. Come, sir, dispatch. If thou couldst, doctor, cast the waters of my land. Find her disease and purge it to a sound and pristine health. I would applaud thee to the very echo that should applaud again. What rhubarb, cyme, or what purgative drug would scour these English hence? Hear'st thou of them?
Aye, my lord. Your royal preparation makes us hear something.
I will not be afraid of death and bane till Burnham would do come to Dunsinane.
Cousins, I hope the days are near at hand, the chambers will be safe.
We doubt it nothing.
Well, what is this before us?
The wood of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host, and make discovery ere in report of us.
It shall be done.
We learn no other but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane, and will endure our setting down before it.
'Tis his main hope. For there is advantage to be given, both more and less have given him the revolt, and none serve with him but constrained things whose hearts are absent too.
The time approaches that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe.
Hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still they come. Our castle strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Here let them lie till famine and the ague eat them up. What is that noise?
It is the cry of women, my good lord.
I have almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been. My senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek. I have supped full with horrors. Direness familiar to my slaughterous thoughts could not once start me. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow. And tomorrow. And tomorrow. Creeps in this petty pace from day to the last syllable of recorded time. All our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thou comes to use thy tongue, thy sword quickly.
Gracious my lord, I should report the which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Will say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Let me endure your wrath if it not be so. Within this 3 mile may you see it coming, I say, a moving rock.
If thou speakst false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive till famine cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if thou dost for me as much. I pull in resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not till Burnham wood do come to Dunsinane, and now a wood comes towards Dunsinane. I begin to be aweary of the sun. Arm, and out.
Now near enough. Your leafy screens throw down and show like those you are. You worthy uncle. So with my cousin, your right noble son, lead our first battle. Worthy Macduff and we shall take upon what else remains to do according to our order.
Fare you well. Do we but find a tyrant's power tonight, let us be beaten if we cannot fight. Make all our trumpets speak. Give them all breath. Those clamorous harbingers of blood and death.
They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear-like must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one am I to fear or none.
What is thy name?
Thou'lt be afraid to hear it.
No. Wilt thou call thyself a harder name than any is in hell?
My name's Macbeth.
The devil himself could not pronounce the title more hateful to mine ear.
No, nor more fearful.
Thou liest, abhorred tyrant! With my sword I'll prove the lies thou speakst.
Thou wast born of woman, yet swords I smile at. Weapons laughed to scorn, brandished by man that's of a woman born.
That way is the noise. Tyrant, show thy face! If thou beest slain by no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. Let me find him fortune, or I take not.
This way, my lord. The castle's gently rendered. The tyrant people on both sides do fight. The noble thanes do bravely in the war. The Daemon itself confesses yours, and little is to do.
We have met with foes that strike beside us.
Enter, sir, the castle.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? Whilst I see lives, the gashes do better upon them.
Turn, hellhound, turn.
Of all men else I have avoided thee. But get thee back, my soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword. Thou bloodier villain, the terms can give thee out.
Thou losest labor. As easy mayst thou the entrenchant air with thy keen sword impress as make me bleed. Let thy blade fall on vulnerable crests. I bear a charmed life which must not yield to one of woman born.
To spare thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee. Macbeth was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Cursed be the tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. And be these juggling fiends no more believe that palter with us in a double sense. They keep the word of promise to our ear and break it in our hopes. I'll not fight with thee.
And yield thee, coward, and live to be the shown gaze of the tide. We'll have thee as our rare monsters are painted on a pole, and under it here may you see the tyrant.
I'll not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse. Though Burnham would be come to Dunsinane, and thou opposed king of no woman born, yet I will try the last. Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on me enough, and damned be him that first cries, hold. Enough!
I wish the friends we missed were safe arrived.
Some must go off. And yet by these I see, so great a day as this is cheaply bought.
Worthy Macbeth is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He only lived but till he was a man, which no sooner had his prowess confirmed the unshrinking station where he fought. But like a man, he died.
And he is dead.
Aye, and brought off the field. Your cause of sorrow must not be measured by his worth, for then it hath no end.
Had he his hurts before?
Aye, on the front.
Why then, God's soldier be he. Had I as many sons as I have heirs, I would not wish them a fair death. And so is Nell is Nold.
He is worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him.
He is worth no more. They say he parted well and paid his score. And so God be with him. Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold where stands the usurper's cursed head. Time is free. I see thee compassed by thy kingdom's pearl, that recite my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire loud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland.
Hail, King of Scotland.
We We shall not spend a large expense of time before we reckon with your several loves and make us even with you. My thanes and kinsmen, henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland in such an honor named. What's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad, who fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher, and his fiend-like queen, who, as 'tis thought by self and violent hands, took off her life. This, and what needful else that calls upon us by the grace of grace, we will perform in measure, time, and place. So thanks to all and to each one, whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone,